Hi again, David Talp here, and in this module we're going to do an introduction to the chuck, or muted downstrokes, or chucking. And this is something you're going to want to get really good at because you're going to be using it all the time. It's a great fun way when you're just hanging out playing your guitar on the porch or on the beach, or if you're going to be doing this whether you're playing electric or acoustic. I'll show you on acoustic, but it's the same technique. And it's something that really sounds excellent, and it adds a lot of dimension to your playing. And what I'm talking about when I say the chuck, it's a muted downstroke. So it's like where you're just percussively hitting the strings. Acoustic guitars use this all the time, and you get stuff that sounds like, I'll do a few different for you and then I'll explain what I'm doing. Right? Or if you change the strum, it doesn't matter. We could do muted downstrokes. And then eventually we'll get good at it with bar chords once we learn bar chords, and you can start playing things like this. Okay, what am I doing there? I'm having fun. Now, what am I doing? Well, the muted downstroke, or the chuck, because it sounds like chuck. Chuck. Or maybe somebody named Chuck invented it. I don't know how it started. But anyway, it's some people call it wick whacking. But basically it's just where you're muting the strings and you're getting a percussiveness out of it. And we're going to do it a lot with downstrokes at first. And there's two different ways to do it. You're doing it a different technique if you're doing it with open chords and if you're doing it with bar chords, okay? So we're going to take this module and talk about open chords, and I'm going to zoom in and show you exactly what I'm doing. This is another technique that you're not going to get the first time you're watching this video. You've got to sit there and play with it because it takes a while to get it to sound good. It's not something anybody just picks up and instantly has it. You have to practice it. And then once you get good at it, you're going to blast it over all of your playing, because you can throw it in anywhere, a lot like suspended chords or add chords like we learned. We're going to use it. That's the thing about guitar. That's what separates a good guitarist from a very good guitarist. A very good guitarist has a lot of weapons in his arsenal. He knows lots of strum patterns, or she. They know lots of different chucking, ways to chuck. They know lots of ways to embellish chords with suspensions and add chords and minor 7s and minor 9, how to take a minor and make it a minor 11. All that stuff makes music interesting instead of just sitting on one chord all the time, but doing all these embellishments. I call that the ways to embellish. Add walking bass lines, change the strum, build up, and we're going to create tension. We're going to work on all those, and all those things you're going to keep adding to your toolbox. So you have this huge toolbox of guitar goodies that you can whip out on any song, and that's what makes it sound interesting. Well, have you ever heard a really good guitar player, a guy on acoustic like Dave Matthews, right? Really good, the way he plays chords and everything. He's not just good because, he's good because he's really doing interesting things with the chord and playing. He plays a lot of interesting chords in his strum patterns in his songwriting, and he's really good. But, you know, or listen to a guy on acoustic guitar like Al Di Meola, one of the greatest kind of jazz fusion flamenco guys with the most amazing picking technique I've ever seen in my life. The guy's his technique is flawless, but he just doesn't sound good because, okay? There's a reason behind these things, right? Okay, so let's take this technique, and I'm going to show you a little bit further back, and then I'm going to bring the camera, and I'm going to explain what I'm doing, okay? You have to get good at this. I'm not using my left hand at all. That's the whole trick right there. With open chords, not bar chords. Bar chords, it's much easier. I'm going to teach you the hard thing first. Open chords, you can't mute them by doing something with your left hand or your fret hand, because even if you kill the notes by coming off pressure with your fingers, you're still going to have open strings ringing. See, with the chuck, you got to mute them all. So that's why you got to do it with your picking hand. Okay? And I do it with this part of the hand. I'm going to come in close and show you this, but you got to hit the strings hard. You got to go for this. This could not be something where you can just, maybe I'll try it, but I'm not. No, you got to really go for it. And you got to hit the strings, and at the same time, I'm coming down with them with the flat of my righty of my right hand. If you're lefty, you'll be doing this with your left hand. That's what you want to try. Notice, I'm not doing this. Incorrect. I'm hitting the strings, then muting them. You got to do it at the same time. Practice and get that sound. It's going to take you a while. It's going to sound like this first, probably. Right? See, I can get it right at the same time. And I'm going to wheel in and show you this up close. Because then all I'm doing that is, when I do a downstroke, I'm doing that. In a strum pattern, I'm doing that. Like, for instance, that first thing I was playing, that... see, down, and then I do the second one, I do that chuck. What was that other pattern?
Down, up, chuck.
Down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck, up. Okay, we'll do that one, because that's the easy one. See, I'm going a down, up, chuck, up, down, up. Now the chuck, I really throw my right hand, or my strum hand, my pick hand, down on the strings. Down, up, wham, up, down, up, wham, up, down, up, wham, up. All the other strums are the same. Chuck, chuck, chuck. So on that down, there's that chuck. I'm really coming in hard for that percussive downstroke. So I want you to try this strum. Down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck, up. See if you can get this. By the way, I'm just fingering a 4-finger G chord. That's all I'm doing. And then, like, I could change that chord. I could do it a few times and then change to like C add 9. You could change it to whatever. That doesn't matter. The whole technique is here. Now I'll change. Same technique. Doesn't matter what chord. Chuck up, down, up, chuck up, down, up, chuck up. D. C add 9. You can do this. Okay, let me give you a little closer view of this, okay? Because it's important that you really see what's going on here with the right hand, okay, or the strum. I keep saying that, and I apologize if we have any lefties out there. So sorry. I have, like, at any given time, privately, I teach about 35 students privately in Southern California, and I usually have 1 or 2 lefties, mainly already. So I'm so used to saying this right, but I mean no disrespect to the lefties. Your strum hand, whether it's your right or your left hand, is going to be doing this, right? So it's the movement, and I'm going to try to get in nice and tight without the reflection from our lighting here, is, let's see if I can grab that G chord way up here. So here's what I'm doing, is like, trying to give you a good view. Chuck. See this? I'm hitting the strings at the same time. There we go. I'm actually coming down with my right here. The side of my hand. Okay? Right onto the guitar strings. As I'm running the pick across the strings, I'm hitting it with my hand, okay? And this is, maybe I can give you a look like this. That actually might be pretty good. You can kind of see this. See? See how I get that? Okay? That's the whole trick to this, okay? You come down with that right hand, come down with that strum hand. Your fret hand really isn't doing much than fingering chords, okay? So when I'm going down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck, up, down, up, kind of like this. Wham, chuck, up, chuck, up. That's what you want to get good at, okay? Chuck, chuck, good. See all that rhythmic interest we had by doing this. I was just playing G, C add 9, and D. That's all, okay? So, I want you to practice that. And I want you to practice that real strong, muted chuck. Okay? And that's going to take a little while just to get that. But practice 5 or 10 minutes a day and you'll get it. Add that to your practice routine. Write this down. Take copious notes. Alright? And then once you get it with that little strum pattern, down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck, up. Let's try it with strum 2. Remember strum 2 is, you know strum 2. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down. So let's put a chuck on the second downstroke. So it'd be down, chuck, up, down, chuck, up. Now that should not throw you off timing-wise because you know this strum. You're still doing, all you're doing is you're coming in for a very hard chuck or muted downstroke on the second one, on the second downstroke. Down, chuck, up, down, chuck, up, down, up, there you go. Up, down, up, C at 9. Up, down, down. Gotta hit it hard. Hit the strings like you mean it. With conviction. Deeper turn around. Okay, remember, you gotta hit the strings hard. And you can't be wimpy, and you gotta go for it, okay? Hit them like, I don't know what hit them. I don't know, hit them with a missile. Yeah, okay? Now, if you want to take it to the next further one, try it on, like with the same strum, down, up, down, up. But let's do a chuck on down, up. Now that next down, let's do another chuck there. So see how you're getting all these wonderful intricacies in your music, in your strumming, which is going to add interest and these percussive elements. And then I'll throw in suspended chords on top of that and change the strum. And now, man, you're really sounding good and interesting and having fun, right? So now let's do down, chuck, up, chuck on that down, and then up. Okay? So you're doing 2 down chucks. Down, up, chuck, up, down, up. I like that one. Up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck, chuck. See, at 9 doing the same thing. Doesn't matter with the fret hand. C9, down, chuck, up, down, D. All downs. Stay on the D for a little bit. So you get the hang of this. Play along. Very good. That's outstanding. Okay. So you could throw these chucks in and use your artistic discretion, kind of like throwing in those suspensions and just to jazz things up and make them cool. Like when I go to that D chord, I can go. Now what did I do there? I was just playing the D chord, but I was playing the D sus2 and D sus4 with and just moving the embellishment with my left hand, or my fret hand, while I was chucking and playing that strum 2 with my right. And you get something like this. Playing in time. Now I'm doing multiple elements of style. I'm adding sus chords and the chuck. Chuck. Now to the G. Maybe we'll go to an A chord, or A minor. Let's go to A minor. Let's do something fun there. Chuck. Now I'm going to add some suspensions while I'm chucking. There's that sus2. Just take up that first finger. Right? There's sus4. See how interesting your playing is getting, and how quickly we're getting you there. G. Back to G. Okay, that was good.